ready.
And hello everyone, how is everyone doing on this fine Sunday? Welcome once again, whoever you are, wherever you're watching from, or whenever you are watching this stream, to our Limbus Company daily ID study, mirror dungeon, and book reading. Today we are doing a rerun because I don't feel I did enough justice the first time I played in the first time, and there is an achievement to be made. That's right, we're going to be using the T-Corp class collection, T-Corp tax collection crew. That is Otis, Dawn, and Rodion. Welcome, Civic Trauma. All right, so without further ado, we have already reviewed these IDs in the past, but I don't think I did enough justice, like I mentioned just now. So we're going to do a full re-review of them. So let's get started. So our first little nugget of joy here is going to be the T-Corp Class 2 Collection Staff Rodion, a 00 ID. So let me just start making my notes here, just a moment. Rodion. Starting off, she is from... Oh, it doesn't even show the season here. It's interesting. Usually you have a season. What the fuck? Huh. In any case, T-Corp Class 2 Collection Staff Rodion has 264 HP, 4 to 7 speed, 59 defense level. She is fatal to pierce but resistant against slash. So let's write that down. Fatal to pierce, strong versus slash. She possesses the sin of envy, wrath, sloth with a sloth guard. Her passive is Golden Time Standoff. It requires 5 sloth to own sloth to use. Turn end. If this unit's HP is between 16% or 20%, she instantly heals up to 60% of max HP and recovers from stagger once per encounter. When clashing against targets that have time moratorium, she gains true clash power and takes 10% less damage against enemies that have time moratorium. Once again, what the hell is time moratorium? Well, time moratorium is an effect that all the 3 T-Corp units have that we can apply onto the enemy. Once activated, the enemy does not take any damage as long as the effect is active. Instead, he restores all of that damage. On combat end, if there is only 1 count left of this effect, the effect triggers Tremor Burst after dealing 100 plus stack times 15% of the stored damage as sloth damage. Turn end, he gains 1 stack and loses 1 count. The time moratorium will immediately expire after triggering the Tremor Burst and the sloth damage effect if another instance of time moratorium is afflicted on a unit that has time moratorium. Now, here is the thing that I didn't pay attention about time moratorium the first time I played this, with its thing in particular, is that it deals more damage if we burst it earlier. Also, welcome Kiznb. Hello, welcome. Also, hello, Sidikram, you're going for a walk, can't go alone again. Why do you mean you can't go alone again on a walk? In any case, so if there is only 1 count left, it will deal 100 plus stack times 15% of the stored damage. If we have 2 stacks of time moratorium, it will deal 30% more damage of all the stored damage as sloth damage. And one thing that we must pay attention about is the fact that it converts the damage to sloth damage. Not slash, not pierce, not blunt, sloth. If the enemy we are facing is resistant to sloth, most of our damage is going to be reduced. So we must be careful with our engagements here. In any case, let's move on to her skill 1, Prepare to Collect. It is a 3 base power skill with 4 coin power featuring 2 coins, blunt, envy with a 61 offense level to offset her 59 defense level. On use, she gains true tremor count and gains 1 clash power for every 6 tremor on target. So this has no power escalation, it only has clash escalation, which is alright at best. I'd rather do more damage, honestly, but it's whatever. On hit, it inflicts true tremor count with the first coin. On the second one, she gains 1 tremor count, and hit after a clash win, she inflicts additional tremor count on the enemy. Nice. Skill 2. T-Corp Martial Suppression. 4 base power, 5 coin power, blunt, wrath, 61 offense level, and 2 coins. The first one is a nice 11 roller, forgot to mention that. 3, 4, 4, 11. And the second one is a nice 14 roller. It is a little below the average for skill 2s, but let's see what it does. And the Kyle I've seen a few times on the stream, just changed my name. I would recognize it kinda. It's just that Twitch doesn't give me the name change. Anyway, T-Corp Martial Suppression. I can say deals 5% damage for every bind on target. On use, she gains 2 tremor count. Clash power +1 on every 6 tremor on target to a maximum of 2. Once again, no power escalation, only a clash power escalation. On hit, she gains 2 tremor count. Hitting after a clash win, she inflicts 3 tremor count. And on hit, she inflicts 1 bind. And if the target has +6 tremor, she inflicts another bind. So far, so 0-0. Let's check out her skill tree. Execute Collections. Execute Collections has 2 base power, 3 coin power, 4 coins, blunt sloth with a 61 offense level. Deals 5% more damage for every bind on target to a maximum of 20%, capping at 4 bind. With that amount of coin power, that amount of coin and coin power, we have in our hands here a 13, yeah, it's a 9, 12, 14 damage skill. My math does not fail me, and often does. Yeah, it's a 14 base roller, which is not great. But in any case, if the target has 8 tremor, it gains additional clash power, and it can consume 8 tremor count on self to gain an additional coin power, turning this into a rather decent 22 roller. So we have our very first magical number to keep in mind for her. Our S3 consumes 8 tremor for plus coin power. Very nice. It inflicts tremor count, inflicts tremor, inflicts bind. If this unit consumes tremor count with skill use, she will inflict even more bind. If this unit is in borrowed time state, she inflicts 2 time moratorium, triggers tremor burst, then reduces target count by 1. Pretty average tremor skill here. Tremor seems to be going hand in hand with bind, and we have the time moratorium application here that only works when we are in borrowed time. But how do we activate borrowed time? Well, we use our block skill. It has a 15 base power with a 4 coin power, 62 defense level, which is higher than our base defense level, so it gets overwritten. It overrides our base defense level, sorry. On combat start, if this unit is not in a borrowed time state, she gains 3 borrowed time at turn end, once per turn. On use, for this turn, when hit by an enemy, inflict 2 tremor on target next turn, 6 times per turn. Borrowed time. Turn end at 2+ count. Gain borrowed time count, -1, haste, black power up, and fragile next turn. If this unit is set to gain more bind and haste next turn, the borrowed time effect expires at the next turn start, and this unit gets staggered. Turn end at 1 coin, gain 2 borrowed time stack, bind next turn, and gain 1 stack, turn end, gain 1 stack and lose 1 count. So if I understand correctly, let's see. Gain 1 count, lose stack, 1 count. Sorry, I'm thinking here. Let's see. Gains borrowed time count, -1 haste. I assuming when we gain 3 borrowed time, we have 3 borrowed time count, and then once the turn goes over, we lose 1 count and gain a stack. And what does a stack of borrowed time does though? Hold on. Gain borrowed time count, -1 haste. So we're at activation, we are getting like 2 haste and then 1 haste, clash power and fragile. If she receives bind, she gets staggered. At 1 count, gain 2 borrowed time stack, -1 bind. Turn end, gains 1 stack and loses a count. So we can stay in this borrowed time state for 2 turns and then it auto deactivates itself. I knew how this worked. I'm gonna have to consult it because I don't know why it's boggling my mind. I think it's very simple. I'm T-Corp. I guess I'll figure out how to do it while we're playing. So we know how to get borrow time. We activate it with our block. Simple, easy peasy. Let's equip some eagles, see which eagles can help us. With the sins of Envy, Wrath, Sloth, and since we're running like a mixed bag team, we don't have a problem with eagles. We are going to be taking Pursuance for that healing. And Stagger on heal is always nice. We are, for the most part, a Tremor Bind team, I do believe. So we need to look for things that will fortify our Tremor Bind. Like Affirmative Correction, which had hit with skill inflicts 1 to bind. We don't have Pierce skills, I believe. Yeah, we don't. So that passive is kind of worthless, but the attack itself does apply Tremor and Tremor Count, a lot of Tremor Count as a matter of fact, and bind. So we might as well keep that one. And for our WoW, we could take Indicant's Trial. No. And the other one we have is Sanguine Desire, but we are not a bleed team, so I'll take Indicant's Trial for the AoE. We could also take Design into the Sunset, which I should upgrade since I'm here. Why not? Why the hell not? Can I upgrade it again? I do. Nah, no, I can't. What a shame. In any case. What is the passive? It's the limit left most bad attack skill about is a raffle skill attack and deals 3% of damage dealt against the main target with that skill as its corresponding infinite damage to a random enemy, max 30 damage for focus encounters apart. It is dealt the maximum possible damage of the above affecting 1 infinite damage for the corresponding infinity next turn and disable the above effect for triggering for 2 turns. Got it. And let's skip with what is cast. What was the passive of what is cast again? It is speed heal efficiency, speed loss efficiency. That's kind of dog water. Let's go with Into the Sunset. Right, moving on to Dawn. The Dawn creature herself, T-Corp class 3 collection staff, possessing 291 HP, 427 speed, a 64 defense level. She is resistant to blunt, but fatal against pierce. Differing from Rodeo in this case. So Dawn is weak to pierce and strong versus blunt. Very good, very nice. Moving on to her passive, Golden Time Extracting. If this unit's HP is between 10 or 20%, instantly heal 80% of its unit's max HP and recovers from stagger once per turn. When this unit loses borrowed time, gains 8 aggro to one of these skills next turn. So clearly by the high HP and high defense level, Dawn here is the tank of the team. And, you know, aggro as well. Skill 1, let us prepare to collect. It's a base power 3, coin power 4, featuring 2 coins, blunt, gluttony with a 60 offense level. So we already have the scene of gluttony here, which I forgot to say which affinities we had. Unused, gains tremor count, gain clash power for average 6 tremor on target, and gains aggro. It inflicts 2 tremor, there is nothing else here. No power escalation, only again clash escalation. Skill 2, T-Corp Accelerated Amputator. It has a 4 base power, 4 coin power, 3 coins, slash damage, pride with 60 offense level. For a tank, she has pretty good offense levels, I'll be honest. On use, she gains 3 tremor count and gains clash power +1 for every 6 tremor on target. On hit with the first coin, she consumes up to 3 tremor on the target and gains double the amount consumed as tremor count on self, and inflicts tremor consumed -1 bind next turn. Very nice. Welcome Lucifer's job, how are you doing? Skill 2 inflicts 3 tremor, and finally, if the skill's coin effects consume tremor on target, trigger tremor burst to reduce the target's tremor count by 1. So we have a magical number here, a smaller one, but still a magical number. For Dawn, skill 2 consumes 3 tremor on target for tremor burst. All right, very nice. Let's check out that skill 3. I command the halt. It's a 4 base power skill with 3 coin power, featuring 4 coins, much like Rhodia, I believe. It is a blunt sloth affinity attack. We write that down. Much like Rhodia, we also have a sloth affinity skill 3. On use, clash power +1 for every 6 tremor on target. If the target has bind, we gain another clash power and a magical number. On use, consume up to 10 tremor on self to gain 2 coin power. It is the same as Rhodia, but Rhodia's has easier activation. So 10 tremor on self to gain for +2 coin power. So her skills can roll up to, let me see here, I'll check that. We have a nice 11 roller with clash escalation. We have a 16 roller with only clash escalation. And finally, we have her skill tree, which is a 9, 12, a 16 roller with coin power +2, turning this into a 24 roller with clash escalation. Very nice. 24 roller is not superb, but it is pretty damn good. On hit, if the target has 10 tremor, consume 10 tremor on target and inflict 2-time moratorium. If this unit is a borrowed state time, this effect does not consume the target's tremor. On hit, triggers tremor burst, then reduce target tremor by 1. If the target speed is lower than his unit, trigger amplitude conversion into tremor chain. What is amplitude conversion? Convert the tremor or already converted tremor on target to a different type of tremor. Potency and count values do not change over the conversion. We have Tremor Chain. Tremor Chain means that you lose 1 clash power for every 10 tremor potency on self to a maximum of 3. And pretty much it works like just normal tremor. So Tremor Chain is about lowering the enemy clash power even further. Very interesting. So one other coin magical number here for Dawn's S3 is that she consumes 10 tremor on target for time moratorium. I'm gonna just put it as TM here and take a page out of Ryosuke's book for abbreviations. Very nice. Finally, I shall summon the time, a 15 base block with a 5 coin power and a 62 defense level. Now, remember how I said that defense skills kind of override your defense level? This one is lowering our defense, which is strange to say the least. Very interesting. If this unit is not in a borrowed time state, she gains 4 borrowed time at turn end. Borrowed time, as we have seen, is quite strange. I'm still not sure how it works. And same deal as before as Rhodia, when she gets hit by using the skill, she inflicts tremor on the target. So there's several types of tremor chains. One of the first ones I am aware, Lucifer's Job. I playing this. I have like 2,000 hours in this game now. 2,700. Fast approaching 7,000. All right, let's equip ourselves some Eagles. Wishing Cairn, because it has tremor and a very good paralysis. We don't have another option for a WoW other than in the name of Love and Hate, which doesn't make sense to use it with her without her ID. So your name Markella it is. And for her heal level, we only have Telepole or Fluid Sac. I prefer Fluid Sac. Lastly, but certainly not least, is the T-Corp Class 3 DDCU staff for Otis, the newest one. Right, here we go. Let me just... I'm taking care of my notes here. 1 second, please. Otis. Otis has 260 HP, 4 to 7 speed, 62 defense level. She is weak to pierce, but resistant against blunt. So above everything else in this game, we are going to avoid Pequod Town like the goddamn plague, because we are all fatal to pierce. Very well, she possesses the sins of pride, sloth, and lust, together with a sloth clashable guard or power guard. Her passive is Golden Time Micro Cavity, 5 Owns Love. Turn end, if this unit is between 10% or 20% HP, she instantly heals 80% of this unit's max HP and recovers from stagger once per encounter. If this unit has borrow time, its skills gain final power +1. So above all else, we want this unit to be on borrow time at all times. Skill 1, prepare to collect, a 3-base power skill with 4 coin power, 2 coins, blunt pride, and 61 offense level. This is a very nice 11 roller. On use, she gains tremor count, and if the target has tremor, we gain additional coin power, turning this into a 13 roller. We have a single case of power escalation here, which is not bad at all. There are newer units usually have better power escalation, but this is not bad at all. Very good. Moving on to the second skill, T-Corp Microcavity Module. 3 base power, 5 coin power, 3 coins, blunt sloth with a 63 offense level and 1 attack weight. This is a 18 roller, which is above average for skill choose, which is very nice. On use, she gains 4 tremor count, and if the target has 6+ tremor, that is an additional coin power, so another escalation. So this skill goes from a 18 roller to a 21 if the target has 6 tremor, which is incredibly nice. It inflicts 2 tremor on hit with the first coin, same with the second. If the target has 10 tremor, she consumes 4 tremor on the target to apply additional 2 tremor count to both the target and self. If the target is in neither amplitude conversion or amplitude entanglement, this coin deals 60% more damage. On hit, if the target is in amplitude conversion or amplitude entanglement, states consumes 3 tremor count on self to trigger amplitude conversion into tremor chain. And if the target has 3+ tremor count, it triggers tremor burst once, then reduces the target tremor by 1. In other words, if they don't have any special type of tremor, they will take a bigger wallop from the third coin of this skill, and we consume 3 tremor on the target to transform that into tremor chain. All right, let me write that down. Otis, skill 2, consumes 10 tremor target to consume 4 and gain 2 tremor count. Same thing as before. Let me just get this copy paste. There we go. Let's see, consume 3 target tremor to amplitude conversion. Got it. Now I do recall that her skill tree is the most intricate of these, so let's take a look. The tree collector mace max activation, a 5 base power with 4 coin power, 3 coins, blunt lust with a very nice 65 offense level. If the target is an either amplitude conversion or amplitude entanglement, this attack deals 30% more damage. If the target has time moratorium, that is an additional 30% more damage. It has coin power +1 for every 6 tremor on target, max of 2, so we have 2 levels of escalation here, making this attack go from a 5-4-4-4 to a 5-5-5-5 and then to a 5-6-6-6. So this attack, without looking at the rest of it, will be hitting 4, 8, 12, a 16, and then it's going to be a 19, and lastly a 22. So her skill 2 and her skill 3 can hit about the same. Interesting. If the target has blind, she gains another coin power. Attack ends, she loses the borrow time on herself, and it gains violet collections once per encounter. Now, violet collections. If this unit has haste, she gains 1+ tremor count when its base skill. If it is faster than the target, deal the speed difference times 3% damage max, up to 15%. And this is a permanent buff once we use this skill once. And it deactivates our borrow time without us getting the binds. So we want to reactivate borrow time every time we're going low. Whenever we use this, we also want to reactivate it. Got it. On hit, it inflicts 2 tremor count. consumes up to 3 tremor on target to gain a lot of stuff. Well, honestly, that's a lot of stuff. Gains tremor count consumed times tremor count, and inflicts tremor count consumed bind next turn. So we change the tremor on the target to gain tremor and to inflict bind. Same thing on the skill 2. If the target has 3 tremor count, we are going to trigger tremor burst. And finally, the third coin, which is the very special one. Consumes all tremor count on self to gain coin power +1 for every 4 tremor count consumed to a maximum of 5. Deals 2% damage for every 1 tremor count consumed to a maximum of 100%. On hit, trigger tremor burst, and if this unit has borrowed time, it triggers tremor burst again, and if this unit has borrowed time, it inflicts 2-time moratorium. So 2% for every 1 tremor count consumed, and let's see here. 5 times 4, that's 20. If we consume 2 times 20, that's 40%. 2 times 20, 40%. So we're gonna need we're gonna need a lot of tremor to actually deal a lot of damage here. So hold on, let me get this right. For every tremor we consume, we gain 2% damage. If you have 10 tremor, that is 20% damage. So we're gonna have about, if you have 50 tremor on self, which is an insane amount of tremor, we can deal maximum damage with the skill. And wow, that is a lot of tremor that we need for skill tree. Whoo boy. Right, let me try to get the magical number here. 1 second. Otis, skill tree. Consumes all tremor on self. For every 4 on coin tree. Gain 1 coin power. And this is just for 1 coin, mind you. It's not for the whole combo. So gain 1 coin power for a maximum of 5. So that would be 5 times 4, that is 20 tremor for 5 coin power on S3. All right. And for maximum 100% bonus damage, we are going to need again the 10 tremor, 20%. We're gonna need 50 tremor. That is a lot of tremor. I know with coins, with gifts, we can get to that number very quickly, but we must avoid using our skill tree as much as we can. And we do have some stuff that consume tremor as well. So yeah, this is a strange idea. Now, anyway, let's finish this with her block, which is a clashable guard with 3 base power and 10 coin power, 63 defense level, sorry. Combat start, if this unit is not in a borrowed time, she gains 4 borrowed time. On clash wing, she applies 2 tremor count on both target and the self, and on clash lose, she gains 4 tremor count. And it is an unbreakable coin. Opinion, is she better than Molar Otis? No. I will tell you that much. I run both of them, but maybe we'll get to see that today, but I don't think she is as good as Otis, Molar Otis for tremor. So we are going to be equipping binds because that is a tremor. We're going to go for Ebony Stand for maximum AoE, and for our theft skill, we're going to be taking Dead Shower. Although we could take Yasunyata Tadrupan because of that Lust Fragility for a skill. That one's better. That's better support. And I have this one as well, which I never used properly. What is the passive for her base Zion? You want damage during a turn, gain 1 more damage every consecutive turn that isn't hit. That's a 40% damage up. I like that. But I'm gonna go for Zion. The Zion, I never used it, so. Power guard or power counter? Power counter is a little bit better in some aspects, but both are good. Anyway, that is the review of our T-Corp little gremlins here. Let's begin by building a team now, shall we? So, We are a tremor buying team, mostly focusing on blunt damage. We have but a singular slash damage to our name, which is from Dawn, so we can easily focus on blunt gifts this time around. As we have seen before from this boy here, he does not have a very good tremor. We do have the Efflorist Eagle Ice Bush that allows us to do more damage when we're using AoEs, but yeah, it's not that good, honestly. Other options that we have is the classical Sanity Management or Molar Opus Fixer that allows us to gain Inflict Defense Level Down. I'm gonna go with the Defense Level Down because I do like a bit of a debuff. For Faust, whatever. I am inclined to leave her as her base ID because of the passive for offense level downs as well. Blunt and Tremor passives, yeah, those are a little rare. They're mostly focusing on Tremor. Blunts, I mean for ego gifts, because we're mostly a Blunts team. They have different purposes, just the Molar Ultimate happen to have a more useful purpose on Tremor. Unfortunately, a lot of counter application is nice, but so is a whole lot of Tremor bursting. And also, I think the Molar Ultimate just do more damage. Anyway, Ryoshu does not have good Tremor support. We do have the District 20 Euro Div that allows us to gain more Tremor count for their skill or coin effects 2 times per turn. That will indeed help Otis to achieve that insane amount of Tremor that she needs for that skill tree of hers. The other option would be T-Corp Contempt in Awe, but that requires a Lust Resonance, which I don't think we have. We only have Lust on Otis skill tree. Other option would be Lobotomy, Painted Roman Solitude, which is weird as hell for a Tremor sinking team, so we're not going to be using that. It's District 20 Euro Div here. Merso will be helping us with... He could take this for sanity heals. Yeah, we don't have a sanity healer, so he takes the role of the middle brother, bringing us refreshments once again. It goes without saying that we are going to take the District 20 Euro Div Honglu for the ability to multi-Tremor Burst, which is very nice. That's right, Amelie says. It inflicts at random 2 offense level down. That's almost a full clash power down on the enemy. Do notice that this is offense level down at the moment, like this turn, not next turn. So we're making, when we trigger this, we're making the following clashes easier. In any case, moving on to Heathcliff. Heathcliff, we are going to be taking the OP Association because honestly, I have to do a solo with him at some point. Allow with the fast speed gain splash power to inflict skills that afflicts Tremor potency. We really don't have better options for Tremor here on him. Let's see. Yeah, no, this is our best option right now. We could always take the ever reliable Kurokumo Clan Wakashu for the extra damage against enemies that use defense skills, but I'd rather take the extra clash power. Moving on to Ishmael. Ishmael, if I recall correctly, did not have any good Tremor support. We could take the LCSV Assistant Manager, but we don't have Gluttony Res, so no. 1 second, please. I heard a noise in my home. All right, it's nothing too good. All right, moving on. I believe we're going to be taking Jong's office rep because, well, honestly, the other supports are not very good for Tremors. Why associate her? Just give us defense level up. Does Ishmael just have more defensive floor rather than? Yeah, that she does have makes you tankier. She just have makes you tankier if you lost health. So not very good. She really does not have any Tremor support. All the Tremor support that she has is Molar Boltworks and Lobotomy Ego Sloshing, which are hybrid supports. One is for Tremor, or one is for Sinking, and the other one's for Rupture, which is weird as hell. So we are going to be taking Jong's office rep for Hanafuda Ishmael for the Sanity Heal, which is very nice. We could take this to apply True Rupture right of a Tremor Burst, which is like 2 extra damage, but it's kind of a pathetic amount of Rupture, to be honest. And it's Rupture potency, not count. If it was count, that might make it very powerful, very busted even, but it isn't. Moving on to Sinclair. Sinclair possesses the Bowler Boatworks fixer, which allows us to inflict more tremor with the effect of our skills, which is kind of what we want here. And this time around, he's not using the fucking costume again. He's just wearing his other costume because, again, no tremor support whatsoever all around, except for this singular joke of an ID. Finally, we have Gregor, and Gregor also does not have tremor support, which is a shame. Yep, no tremor support, which is a shame.
Give me a photo, please.
4 extra damage because of Eurodive. Not exactly. The Eurodive Honglu gives us a chance of triggering additional tremor burst once per turn, mind you, and we're just gonna have a little bit more of damage, 2 more damage. I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather have the ability to heal sanity when hitting with the heads, because that's much more useful than 2 extra damage on rupture. No, 2 rupture on a tremor burst. This one affects every clash win for IDs, so this one's just better. Sorry. Oi? Da panela de pressão? Eu desliguei, tava pronto. Não, vai criar dúvida. Enfim. Anyway, let's get Gregor on his ever-reliable G-Corp Manager Corporal for the healing, because he really does not offer any tremor support except maybe Road Spinner Workshop, which is inflicting rupture if we have rupture to targets that have tremor. So can Slosh my out passive make the tremor team turn into a possible tremor rupture hybrid team? No. What it does is that every time you tremor burst, because every time you tremor burst, you're going to be applying true rupture potency, which, you know, you have only 1 count of rupture because it applies 1 count naturally. And the next enemy that hits him is going to do true damage extra. So it does not turn into a tremor rupture hybrid team. It's kind of a bad. And this one is for if you are rupture while we're hitting someone that has tremor. It's weird. 1 second, please. Sorry, there are things happening in my room because the temperature here suddenly dropped, so every animal in the house is now inside of the house. In any case, that is our team. Let's do a quick review of what they are offering us. The Molar Office Fixer Yiseng is providing us, with defense level down when we tremor burst. Faust is providing us with a chance to deal offense level down. The Eurodive Ryoshu is providing us with additional tremor count for our skills for Otis. The middle little brother Merso is providing us with sanity heal for units of the same faction. Eurodive Honglu is providing us a chance for multi-tremor. Ophi Association Heathcliff is giving us clash power against enemies with tremor. Jong's office representative Ishmael is providing us with sanity heal. Bowler Boatworks Fixer Fixer Sinclair is giving us additional tremor on a hit. And finally, G-Corp Manager Corporal Gregor is giving us healing on a clash win. That is our team. Let us deploy to the Mirror Dungeon. Now, I did say I wanted to do the Reflect trial, but certain things that have happened recently have prevented me from doing so, and I do apologize. I will be doing the Reflect trial soon. Also, why did I build whatever my story things to the pot sinners anyway? Let's deploy. As usual, we take Favor and Starlight Guidance. We are a Tremor team, so there is no other choice but to take Tremor. Ooh, we could take. Let's take Sour Liquid Aroma. I do like that one because it gives us more offense level, and that equates to more damage. As for our gift, We are going to be taking lithograph for healing because I turned around it. I think it's better than phlebotomy, and the blue Zippo lighter. As for our other gift, we are going to be taking the emergency investigator badge because, well, it's fitting. It's T-Corp, right? Our objective here in this dungeon, it is not just a rerun of the T-Corp units because, you know, I wanted to do them justice, is because there is an actual achievement that I want to do. So let me go back to the window and show you the achievements before we progress any further. So here we go. Oh yes, and we also have to keep track of how many combat nodes we do, because today we are reading a little bit more of the health screen. Maybe one day I'll figure out a Tremor hybrid team, but it's gonna fall into that nebulous terrain that I dislike greatly, which is mixed teams. I like them to be all the same faction. So anyway, loadout team, here we go. Defeat the time-killing time Bokyak theme pack boss with 2 or more T-Corp identities in your loadout, not counting backup units incompletable by rental teams. So that is why we're doing the T-Corp today, because that will leave us with just one achievement to do, which is the family trip with Base Ryoshu and some nurse fathers. Monkey Healy likes tangerines, indeed. He's so hungry. We can do the 10 pages because it's reasonable. Yeah, we can also do that. We are immediately going for to be pierced because not only we have Carmilla here, and I don't need to say how good this is, we are also going to get this. So I don't care if you don't have pierce damage and there might be crabs here, we're going to go here. All right, that's deploy our fighters. The fact trial was fun, yet to finish hard because I like your best of the for him. Good spin, enjoying my attempts though. Love her track to show fire. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I like them. Give us something to sink our teeth in instead of torturing Lehang for all eternity whenever we want to test a good team composition. Fuck! Remember how I said we want to avoid them at all costs? Well, here they are with their extremely powerful pierce attacks. This is going to be rough. Right, let me keep in mind my super special notes here with the magical numbers. We kind of use the skill tree here just to win the clash and gain our buff. We are gonna later activate our borrowed time to gain our clash power. Ow, that hurts. They already have 45 at speed. These guys are fucking insane, man. I hate them. I hate them so much. Gotta remember, they haven't used in a long time, so try to succeed. Yeah. Like I said, I want to get into the reflect trial soon, and I will. I just gotta, you know, make time for it. All right, we got good clash power going on now. Rough first battle. Here we go. Very nice. Does she make like a vroom vroom noise when she uses the chainsaw? Go away, bot. I used to think the bots were kind of endearing, now they're just annoying. We're at a complete disadvantage here because they are resistant to blunt, weak to pierce, and we are weak to pierce and we only have blunt attacks. We got staggered because of time, the borrowed time. Oh man, what a rough start for a mirror dungeon. I mean, sympathize for the enemy. Like I said, it used to be endearing because, oh wow, let me tell you a story. When I got started streaming, at one point, I didn't have this layout this overlay that I made all around. I just had my face, and I didn't even have chat on the side under here. So some a bot joined in. I don't think it was a bot. It was just someone trying to scam me and say, "Hey, nice channel. It's very cool. I'm an artist. Would you like to see my art? You can pay me to do an overlay for you." And I was like, "Bro, I'm Brazilian. I don't have any money, but you're free to watch." And so later on, someone else joined and said, "Hey, this is a nice channel, and the gameplay is nice, but it's a little bland, don't you think? Like this kind of sucks." And so the two of them starts conversing with each other, and it reaches the point where the second guy that joined says, yeah, the channel is nice, the streamer is cool, but I'm never coming back here again because there's no overlay and because it is bland looking and all that, as an attempt to sell me an overlay. And it took me a while to realize that, oh, these two were in cahoots. These two were working together to look like an actual two people talking to sell me an overlay, which I figured out how to do it myself. And I was like, I see what it is. It took me like 2 days to realize this, because I was a young blood, and I'm still is a young blood trying to make it here on the Twitch hellscape and the YouTube hellscape. All right, here we go. I want you guys a week to Fierce, right? Fierce. Yeah, well, let's just transform everyone. Henshin, T-Corp, full power.
무엇을 그렇게 깝깝하게 쳐다만 보고 있고 그런다냐? 저런 놈들.
I still get a lot of that on Twitch, by the way. Twitch is mostly trying to sell me viewers through bots, and on Twitter I get a lot of like people following me. Although there was a recent bot purge that removed a lot of them, so I still get a lot of people that follow me and comment stuff like, "Hey, you should buy an overlay from me. Hey, I'm an artist that makes overlay for streamers like you. You should buy one from me." It's a little disheartening, but I'm not doing this for fame and glory. I'm just doing it for fun. Although if fame and glory does come along, I will enjoy it greatly, just like our director. Right, we got rid of some of our stagger thresholds. We are still transformed. Count. We instantly lose 1 count. Are we at 4? This is potency. No, this is potency. This is count. So hers is about to expire, right? Yeah, everyone is about to expire. And then the halt. See how this goes. Stop being evil! Just because you have to be stuck inside the house because it's cold, stop destroying everything!
이만 찰 줄 알았으면 빨리 좀 하지 그랬냐?
Did that deactivate our time moratorium entirely, or it does not refresh? I think it does not refresh, right? That's why ult is, I'm starting to remember here. Ultis can actually reactivate her time moratorium very easily. Kind of. I think we just deactivated our time moratoriums and I don't know why. Do you have a least favorite ID? Least favorite. Probably both work Sinclair, because it took me a while to realize how bad that fucking thing is. That blue tier 2 ego gift is gonna do wonders in the scene, and I'm sure of that. Blue tier 2 ego, which is, you mean the sanity one, lowest star? So yeah, probably both works, Ishmael, Sinclair. for no other reason that he can't meet his own conditionals easily. Yeah, no, here's the thing. His skill tree has... Someone told me that you could use his skill tree without tremor count to remove his stagger threshold so that he can't be staggered. But that takes a long-ass time, and once you no longer have stagger thresholds, you start doing pure extra blunt damage to the enemy, and I see how it can work, but I just think it's incredibly bad. Ah, Echoes of the Manor. I think the Manor is a tier 3, isn't it? Currently we have the T-Corp Investigator badge to prevent death, and since there's only 3 of them, so... Yeah, it's lowest star. He's thinking about lowest star. In any case, the skill tree for Boltwork Sinclair deals bonus blunt damage based on the tremor burst on cell, which if you have high tremor, you won't deal a lot of burst tremor, but it is just so ass. It's like made bad on purpose, and it's extremely bad. And when I did the run with it for both works, it took me a while to realize that, wow, this blows. This is made to be like the worst thing possible. Otherwise, I don't have really an ID that I dislike using. Oh yeah, no, I do have one that I absolutely hate. The Rabbit's Mercil. I did the first time I started doing my dailies here on channel, daily Mirror Dungeon Run, I decided to be funny and take Dead Rabbit's Mercil and Heathcliff all out for a spin, because, you know, they're kind of related. And I did end up fighting Gossipium, and none of the units I brought to support this thing did good against them, because meaning all pierce damage. We got completely and utterly countered by Gossipium. It's very bland. He's like bland as bland gets. He's a guy with a baseball bat and he swings. It doesn't do anything special. He does rupture. That's the only issue I have with it. He's forgettable. He's bland. And also, it left a very bad taste in my mouth because I had to use him against Gossipium. Sluffies are tier 2 on Otis, right? Yeah. Also, I need to shave my head. Because it's cold, I haven't taken a bath in a while and my head's not fluffy. But I prefer my head smooth and bald. Alright, Henching T-Corp. Activate. Sound effect is great for T-Corp though, I do love it a lot. The effects too are great for T-Corp, the way they walk around when they have their borrow time activated. It is, Moises. You're talking about lowest star. That is the name of the Eagle Gift you're thinking about. Yeah, anything that has good blunt damage will be do good, especially the middle, for example. Kill it! Kill it now! I think everybody goes Malbrunt Ryoshu, which is surprising since Ryoshu might have my favorite like this. Do tell, why do you don't like the bunny Ryoshu? She literally has a bunny tail, which is very cute, considering the mass murder that is attached to it. Alright, I'm a little bit Starlightless, so give me the Starlight. Do apologize for screaming on the background. EPS system, nice, I like it, I want it, give it to me. Let's upgrade the badge so all of our units can enjoy a little bit of immortality. And let's mix this one up and upgrade this one as well. Every unit now has our true gifts are affecting both of them, which is very nice. We will sell this because we cannot use it. It's only for the 6 deployed ID, and we only have 3 of them. We could replace Rodian's T1 with a T2, honestly, because it doesn't have anything special, so it just makes her stronger. And we can enhance. No, we cannot. Right, on to the boss. We are a little bit of low health, but we recover with lithograph. Ah, that's beautiful. Look at that. Pode pegar pra comer, mãe. É batata só. Batata, cebola. Um sal. Ah, it's the Sanity, motherfucker. Sanity Fox. What were you weak to again? You were weak to Gloom Pierce, right? Well, I do happen to have some Gloom attacks and some Pierce attacks that are big AoE. We could go for Yearning Markel right off the bat to take care of the umbrellas, so we don't have to deal with their sinking shenanigans. And we're gonna do exactly that and enter borrow time. Right, Dawn, activate your vampire mode. Vampire blast! Alright, that takes care of the umbrellas. Dagger. Right, now we can begin clashing. Dawn is the only one missing the activated time right now. Right. Let's see. Her arms is the right. I think she's mostly concentrated on her that's leading me to enter. Her kiss the curve sort of mal foul, which is necessarily bad, but at least doesn't have her own pose attack gimmick to make her reverse. On the mouse, she's been for very next move though, just like to the Egyptian layer, the very next business will be quite formidable, but it doesn't really compare. And there, I would say the only issue with the the bunny branches is the fact that they are very similar looking. They have no uniqueness to themselves. The other one that stands out really is the adept Mao Fout, because she's, you know, an adept. And again, the issue with the Heishos is the fact that it was released like instead of like the adept or one different Heisho for every sinner, we had the three of the same branch for the Mao, and I think that's it. Oh, that is a real hopeless situation. How about we turn that into a hopeful situation? Favored? No. How about a dominating? That's what we'd like to see. So yeah, I don't mind the Heishos at all. They're fun, they're nice. It's just that we, instead of getting one for each sinner, we got repeats of the same. I don't even know if Otis has a what's it called? Otis Heisho Otis has like a one-sided thing, because I've never actually read her kit. Because once it gets to Lord Lu, that's gonna be pain in the ass to. Didn't I already do Lord Lu review of the Heishos? There was a lot of Heishos. I think I did that. I don't want to do that again. Gloom. How many combat nodes we did in this stream, by the way? I think it was a 4-path of combat nodes, so we need to reactivate our borrow time. Combat node. I'll say we did 5 because it's a full floor. And I don't like to throw around the word pointless because that's a strong word, but really Malosh feels like a pointless, which would go on to get next season more Rupture, more Mao. Who knows? What do you think of the new Rodia Eagle? Haven't used it, don't know what it does. It looks pretty though, it looks real pretty. And I really like how pretty it looks. Very innocent looking. Alright, and now we are all slow because we no longer have our you know, time thing.
놈만 제발 생각했더니 일대를 다 쓸어버렸던 놈이 있었지.
There you go.
정당한 공무집행.
Alright, we're at 30 tremor. That's gonna do good damage, I think.
최대전. 집행한다.
Not the greatest damage I've ever seen. I don't think this thing is resistant to sloth, so we might be, you know, dealing less damage here.
남은 시간을 탈탈 털어주는 수밖에 해결할 능력도 없다면.
Nice.
박살내버렸시야?
No, this already took 7 turns. This is taking forever. This fox is usually dead by then. I know that's partly my fault. I'm not paying too much attention to the mechanics right now. I'm just vibing. Let me lock in a little bit. Oh yeah. Right, where's my notes? Now I'm gonna repeat the same mistake I did last time with his IDs, where I didn't pay attention to their special gimmicks. There we go, battle completed. I'll say we did 5 combat notes because we didn't pay attention. Unless we're gonna do 10 pages per health screen, because it has 50 pages, so it would stretch over to 5 days. So maybe that's best. It's a short story. Let's do 10 pages per. This way I don't have to keep track of something that I will easily lose track of. Alright, we were here only for Carmilla and Blood, Sweat, and Tears, so we shall take it and move on. So we do more damage to staggered targets and deal damage on focus encounters. Second floor, this one took forever. We're already at a 1 hour mark. What the hell is the T-Corp stealing my time every time I decide to play with them? Right, let's go emotional indulgence because we deal bonus sloth damage here. I swear, T-Corp is always stealing my time when I do these mirror dungeons. Yeah, give me, you're a rabbit. Wrap it. Give me your thing so I can melt it into something more useful. Alright, golden urn, money. I like money. Go ahead, Dawn. Give it your best shot. God damn it, Dawn. Let's go for blunt damage. We do more blunt damage. Right, here we go. Henshin. Full T-Corp power. Hey. I'm here. Right, we are in time. Alright, let's see. We lose a count per turn, but gain 1 stack, which means potency. We gain haste for gain true buying at 1 count, gain true buying next turn. So if we reactivate it, what happens if we reactivate it? Once per turn. I'm still not sure how borrow time works. I need to understand. That's the whole point of the thing. We try to understand the IDs here, right? Right now we have 5 count of borrow time with 2 stack. Alright, time flows, and it now becomes 3 potency with 4 count. And we gain haste. Better go to the effect itself. Alright, we gain haste and clash power up and fragile next turn based on our count. It only works if you're at 2+ count. Alright. At 1 count, gains 2 borrow time stack, -1 bind next turn. If we were to set to gain more bind than haste, we get staggered. So let's see. Gains 1 stack, lose 1 count. If we keep, can we reapply borrowed time? That's my question. Let's give it a whirl. Because it feels like if you keep spamming like your defense, you keep increasing the amount of borrowed time that you have, but at one point you get staggered. So we are currently at 4 stacks, 4 potency, 4 count. Blah.
집행한다. 완전히 멈춘
놀랐네.
시간은 전부 징수했으니 상관없지.
Oh yeah, her skill consumes all and borrow time. That's right. Alright, we are supposed to be refreshing in last turn. It does not refresh on use. Okay, so it has to expire naturally before we can actually make use of it. So we are strongest when we activate it, and we're slowly losing power, and then it resets, and then we gain a bunch of bind. I assume that you could refresh this so you can keep gaining count, and then you keep gaining more potency, and at one point you would have receive like a trillion bind and become immobilized.
정당한 공유 집행이다.
And Ult is the only one that can escape the whole you are low on time because it cancels the ability before you can do anything.
그것은 진지하게 가졌어야지.
해부할 능력도 의사도 없다면 해부할 능력도 의사도 없다면 최대전 집행한다.
All right, now we have a singular count of borrowed time on Rhodia. She's still gaining one fragile and 1 bind, 1 haste. I mean, borrow count, time, count. Haste count. Borrowed time count next -1. Shouldn't we be receiving 0? Yeah, we're gonna be receiving 0 next turn. A 1 count gains 8 bind the next turn. Can we reactivate it now? That's my question. Let's try reactivating it now. If you're at 1 count, if we can reactivate it. They don't show off other mirror versions of Sinners in other IDs this day. It's kind of shame. I like that. I can't remember them doing since Full Stop Honglu. Show mirror versions of Sinners and other IDs. This days and others. No, they're kind of around, at least in mentioning. Alright, let's try it. Otis needs to avoid her skill tree so she doesn't cancel it out. And Dawn can just do whatever for now. Alright, so we can't reapply it when we are about to run out. Okay, so once the time moratorium count runs out, you receive the bind. There's nothing you can do. There is going to be a turn where you're going to be vulnerable. You can't keep pushing the... Can't keep pushing the clock, can't keep pushing the limits. That kind of sucks. I want to take the risk. I want to push the limits and then pay the price for it. I mean, more specifically, ones who don't get IDs. Yeah, they don't want to do that anymore because otherwise we want the ID. So, for example, we have the Technology Liberation Alliance cameo for Rhodia that we never got. Maybe she could have saved that godforsaken faction. And same thing for Rabbit Ryoshu or for R-Corp. We never got that ID, and I would love to have that ID. They are no longer showing IDs from other sinners in the upties of other stories unless that ID has already been released, because if they don't have plans to release it, people will just, you know, want it. I want it now. The same way I want Kurokumo Otis ever since she appeared on Kurokumo Heathcliff Updike, because I want more Kurokumo IDs. Please give it to me. It looks so good in the cameo. Come on. That's all I want. Once again, not paying attention to the gimmick here. I'm just trying to wrap my head around borrowed time. I really wish it was a situation where you could keep pushing the limits until you get punished for doing that too much, but that does not seem to be the case. The only one that can escape karmic punishment for using borrowed time is Otis, so you want to use T-Corp, her skill tree, when she's at 1 count of borrowed time, so she does not gain the bind next turn.
얼마 안 걸릴 거야. 시간이 탈탈 털어주는 수밖에.
Tick-tock, motherfucker! Right, because right now we are at 1 count. Next turn, we are going to be gaining 0 haste, 0 clash power up, and 0 fragile. Means it's gonna be over. So at turn end, a 1 count, we're gonna gain 8 bind next turn, and we cannot refresh this. Otis currently has 2. So next turn, she is going to gain her haste, clash power up, and fragile, and it's still gonna have 1 count of it. But we can cancel with our skill tree at any moment, which is very nice. It's the bleeding shame, in it. So anyway, the thing about the IDs is that we run into a problem called, all right, let's say they tease an ID for inside of I thought he had 3 Aleph for a Gabba request. Again, try to do Apocalypse Bird if you can, Shion Hiki, because it's 3 Alephs, and you get a very powerful weapon out of it. In any case, if we release an ID that is teased in one of the other stories, we run the risk that I think they're going for quality over quantity, especially after Heishos, where they're trying to release more powerful, well-crafted kits, even though they're kind of busted, to be entirely honest, over, you know, a shit ton of IDs flooding us. Because otherwise, we would have like a bunch of IDs that are pretty much the same, similar to the Heisho's mouths, and not enough visual distinction between them. It would be kind of cool to run a full 7 association team, and I kind of dig that that having like average Joes or IDs that are kind of similar, but I don't think they want to do similar IDs trying to do the same thing together. All right, let's do ourselves a flavor here and get our block running. Yeah, they're built for that. They're a ruptured unit. But hey, the problem is that they don't seem to be wanting to do generic IDs. They want to do more powerful, unique IDs instead of like flooding us with a bunch of IDs. So imagine a future where imagine a possibility that Limbus company, instead of having like revealing 2 IDs every week or something like that, we get like a week where they release like 5 different IDs. One is a triple zero, and 4 of them are triple double O's that are just very, very similar to one another. This is what I mean. Like, I don't think they want to do that, where there is like a billion units and they're not very distinct or powerful, but they're there just to clog up the odds of actually pulling an ID. Because everyone praises how we can grind everything, and that's fine. We can grind for almost everything in the game, and that wouldn't change. But now there will be a deluge of other IDs that will clog up your pull chances. You know, at the end of the day, this is a gacha game. So let's say you go for the let's say you go for roll for the new nurse father, Otius, right? And you pull, and it is just a deluge of duplicates from a ID that you do not give a shit about. How's our counts? 3, 3, and 4. Or S2 concentrate tremor conversion. Dawn's concentrate tremor suffer point power. And Dawn is using it right now, but we don't have the tremor. Is it on combat start? No. Okay, let's go.
얼마 안 걸릴 거야.
And our director directly said that he doesn't want to do more 0-0 IDs because they feel bad when you pull them. Because, well, they're not very powerful. The 0-0 IDs dream of the day that they can be as strong as Kurokumo Honglu. Hello there, Toy. How you doing? Yes, I will install Half-Life. Well, the stream will be over when the stream is over, brother. Usually these streams last 2 hours. What you complaining about? We will play. You have to be patient, you little dog boy. I still have to install Half-Life, you know. Well, lucky that our just can you know, rebalance him. And that's the problem. He really can't, not easily anyway. Sure, he could sit down with his design team and redesign the units. The problem that we run into that again is the same thing that caused the whole problem with mouse, is that these units you paid money for, if we're buffing them, that's good. And I'm sure some people will complain still about it, like, oh, what do you mean you're buffing the 0-0 IDs or older IDs? Who care about those? What about my favorite ID? What about my 000s that I paid money? Ah, don't worry about that. He's like that. He's like that. In any case, what's it called? Yeah, there too. If you're buffing the ID, some people will complain, no doubt about it. But then again, we run into the issue where if you try to nerf or rebalance some other IDs to, you know, level the playing field here, there's the same thing that happened with mouse. Once the ID is out there, you can't just do it. It would be worth for the longevity of the game, but I don't think they're too worried about that. Like our director said, he has land. He already paid for everyone's what's it called? Retirement. So yeah, who knows how is it gonna go? Ooh, tearful things. I don't want to do a pack search, and I don't want to go to tearful things either. Because there's T-Corp pack collector and they do pierce damage. Let's go for deep sigh. Deep sigh. I'm sure they will find some solution eventually for the problem they are creating themselves, the power creeping. But you know the streams take about 2 hours. It has been 1 in 23, so hang on tight. You can stick around for story time if you want to hear about Hellstream if you want, but I'll be done soon. Everything in due time. Oh, let me scratch my ear while I'm at it. Right, Henshin, everyone is powered up. Dawn consumes lots of tremor on self for her skill true, so we're not gonna use that, not just yet anyway. Otis only has consumes tremor on target. Yeah, no, it's fine. Let's just use it. I too want to finish this quickly, Toy. Do not worry about it. Because the quicker we go through the dungeon, the quicker I can read. And while I do enjoy playing it, T-Corp is not exactly my favorite team. I'm trying to wrap my hand around their gimmick. This is the gimmick is, again, like someone mentioned here on the stream, it is just like a proto Heisho team where use the defense skill to gain buff and then attack harder. Although this is the attack harder here is debatable because they don't exactly gain like lots of damage ups or anything like that, because the Heisho, they gain more damage if I recall correctly based on the speed difference, and they do gain haste when they use their defense skills. Our T-Corp here, they just gain flash power, so they're not hitting harder. I think they're waiting, yeah, they're afraid because it's a gacha game and the backlash will get to you eventually. Even if you do everything correctly, there will be some people that will bitch and cry about it. But the main problem with everything is that they're probably waiting to move to their studio that they're building to expand their staff and actually start trying out things. That's my theory, that's my idea at least. Punch! You know, strange thinking how about when I heard about the Malfast nerfs getting called back, I thought the boss was just dead and that pushing means that we get it better after ended up mattering nearly as much as I expected either. Yeah, because they can just make harder bosses. That's it's a problem of power creep, is that they're gonna have to make harder bosses, but Project Moon has been known to make rather difficult bosses, so I think it evens out properly. Was only an issue at the time because of Leiheng. Yeah, they also because here's the thing. I feel like there's like a shift in the director because they reacted too quickly to the whole backlash that was happening, you know? They actually reacted too quickly, and because of that, they kind of fumbled the whole thing. Had they waited and, you know, overviewed the situation properly, even if it let the controversy boil over a little bit more, they would have probably done a better solution than what they did. It's just that they really just fumbled it. Yeah, the Leiheng nerf is inexcusable. They even did a poll to see, hey, should we unnerf it? And they didn't unnerf it, which is very sad. I really like Leiheng. And they still haven't unnerfed him. It's again, they're afraid of backlash, but like I said, I think something shifted in our director as of late, especially after he did the stream where he was using the main hero avatar for his VTuber, that he decided, you know what? Screw you all. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. And assuming that this has indeed come to pass, this thing of mind of like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, fuck y'all for telling me how to do my game, I think things will probably change. The only thing that is left is for us to wait and see. You proceeds to make the easiest cut per new unit so far. Kind of, yeah. Still, he's mostly something I remember when Limbus came out, that I think he did an interview, I don't remember now, with something like this. He really enjoyed when Library of Ruina was on early access and they released new chapters every now and then. Yeah, there's the dog talismans, thank you. He really enjoyed it to see the reaction of people to how things were being revealed, you know, the story, because in his words, it feels like a comic book, like the new issue of the comic book, here's a new piece of story, and he really enjoyed it. And he also was somewhat envious of the success of Fate Grand Order. That's why he wanted to make a gacha game, so that he can release story beats gradually and see the reaction of the people. And so that's why we have like here, so any new content that's being released, he is, and this is me, I'm just filming things here, I'm not Junior, I'm not inside of his mind, I am not controlling him like the mobs inside of my brain after they enter through my ear. It's, I guess the idea here is that he's releasing the content to people that are up to date with the game. So like me, for example, I am already have all the IDs and I am at the end of the game, you know, I defeated the Kanto as it was released, all that good stuff. And so after that is done, you get the fun IDs to play around, but I already beaten the Kanto, so I'm not going to be using that on the Kanto. So next Kanto, I am going to beat it with the units I have available, and not with the new overpowered ones that we're gonna get. Which is kind of weird, I know, but this is pretty much how things are rolling around. Let's see here. Don't have a time moratorium, so I'll add another time moratorium to your time moratorium. Why not? In any case, the ID is being released, the powerful new ID is I don't want to say this like this, but I think it's mostly for people that don't know how to play the game properly. Because they're so powerful and easy, because you just put them out and they just do insane amount of damage and allows you to go through the story content without any challenge, save for a few gimmick boss fights. Are we still time moratorium? Yes. Which part of you is still time moratorium? Let me see. That is your left arm. That one. All right, got it. Do we have any units that can apply time moratorium right now? Yes, we do. All right, let's break his arms. Those one are just on a totally different level than everything else. Struggling against Donbei was still funny. Yeah. Because Donbei has a very strong gimmick that if you don't pay attention, she punishes you for it. In any case, I don't want to say like, oh, it's for people that don't know how to play the game, but based off on the ID itself, the ID, you can guess like, how is the next chapter going to hold up? Because yeah, it's Kanto 10 promises to be very evil, and I'm going to be very disappointed if it isn't incredibly evil. And I think the reason why they're doing reflect trials, other than give us something to do, is to test out more difficult content as well. Hello, Acidic Trauma, what's up? And hello, Higno, how you doing? Give me your poise eagle. Pull it out. Yank out the things. I think I'm repeating myself often here, but yeah, that's my idea that I think it's gonna happen. Kanto 10 is gonna be very evil. We're about halfway through the Sinners here. So, fuck off. Why are you guys back? Why are they here? Screw you all. God damn it, do I have anything pierced to deal with them? Yes, I do. Screw these guys. Die. Even if we could say he released the season, the Ishmael is like incredibly strong with specific team and never considered replacing on NV res. Yeah, that, you know, again, it's a powerful team. So, Trauma, why don't just open up a map? You are on Google or on a phone, right? Pop a map open. Middle Issue is very good, yes. I like her, she's fun. It's fun to play, and again, I do really enjoy making teams out of the same faction. That's why I play the mirror dungeons like this. Because once you have a team that really synergizes one another, like the middle, it's very, very easy to keep going. All right, we're not gonna get our henching this time around because we can win the clashes, hopefully. We only have blunt damage to do with these guys. We could use another eagle, but I don't want to blast them with eagle again. And there's only two of them, so is there any more coming? No, that's just two guys. Kill them. Good. In any case, where was I again? Yeah, I was ranting about overpowered IDs. I hope good faith that they will do good. We'll wait and see how things are gonna come. The new interval is right around the corner. We have the reflect trials, which allows them to test like difficult bosses. No, I disagree with them. I am very good with maps, but I'm old, so anyway, I think the reflect trial exists as a way to give us rewards and actually let them test difficult fights, see what works and what doesn't. So we'll see how it goes. I have faith that they will be able to do very good. After all, they can do whatever they want. All right, here we go. All right, let's get some enhancements going here for our drink. and for our team. They give you the solution, yes, but then again, it just reinforces the thing that the Project Moon fanbase cannot read. I was having people complain on the Deadly Hellscape that is Twitter about how you need a meta team to beat the Reflect trials when it's literally written right there. Just use this to kill the boss. It's not difficult, bro. Just do this, please. It's right there. Use bleed against Rufo, then use sinking. It's not difficult. I feel like a director gets more and more bold the more people complain about this obvious things that are there. Just read, it's right there.
현실적으로 근무 시작.
I disagree that you need specific IDs again. I just run with whatever they're offering because, like, hey, Rufo, I haven't seen Ricardo yet, but hey, Rufo, she takes more damage from bleed and from lust, so use bleed and lust. That's easy, right? All right, second stage, she takes more damage from gloom and sinking, so use gloom and sinking. There are many options for gloom and sinking. I don't know about Ricardo because I haven't fought him, but I do know he has a fun attack and a fun interaction if you bring only middle IDs. I can feel myself becoming more bald, and I'm already bald whenever I see someone say dumbass things like that. Like, oh, it's too difficult, I don't know how to read. Alright, fun fact, Riz, beat was for some reason blocked by the auto moderation of Twitch. I don't know why, but again, I do bring this back to a lot of people are just too used to not being frustrated, you know?
얼마 안 걸릴 거야.
They want that victory is deserved because it's a gacha video game, so it must be easy, and so I don't need to think at all about my team. If I take whatever is considered meta, I will win every fight, which halfway true, but then you get to the Reflect trial and these people are complaining that they can't beat it, even though they're bringing their most powerful IDs, and then call it bad design when it's not that difficult. And again, I reinforce, people are no longer used to being frustrated. That's why people make clickbait videos about Lobotomy Corporation saying that it's the most hellish and difficult game you ever played. No, Lobotomy Corporation is very easy. You sit down and you pay attention to what abnormalities you have. I even had like a little a post-it here that I wrote some things like, hey, Nuggets die, this thing will escape, or whatever, and I kept track of that stuff right here. It was incredibly easy. Love Carver is trial and error and a bit of strategy to have one. I had my strategy. I had my way, a specific way to organize my nuggets on the facility that made for work to go incredibly quickly and incredibly efficient, because they will also auto-suppress anything that escaped. Let me tell you how I did it. So, before the beginning of the day on LobCorp, I would go and assign a nugget that will be working on each abnormality, right? The way I did this is that I posted it on outside of the hallway where the abnormality would be, and that's where would they spend the rest of the day. Since every department has 4 abnormalities only and 5 employees, I would post 2 employees in each hallway, and there will be 1 extra. This 1 extra from every department would gather around in the middle of the facility, right under the floor of technology, and then later on in the floor of in the middle floor, I forgot the name now. And these actors from every department, usually their team captains, would be the strike teams. The strike team. So whenever I needed to give orders, I would pause the game, go into each hallway, tell that nugget, work on this creature, you work on that creature, you work on that creature, and I will count how many times, how many work they were executing, because, you know, if I work too much, if I put too much work, they would turn it would turn the Clifoot counter, and everyone would get fucking blasted by certain things. So I give 10 work orders, and then the Clifoot meltdown hit. And once it hit, I had the strike team ready to deploy to deal with whatever. If it was a ordeal where a bunch of like clowns appeared, guess what? There's 2 nuggets per hallway of the entire facility. They are ready to rend you asunder should they need to. So none of the other abnormalities that escape were like encountered at empty hallway. There was always someone waiting for them to kill them, and they weren't weak either. Because at this point I already had the training suppression, so I could hire level 3 straight off the bat. So it was highly efficient, and especially for ordeals as well, especially except like specific ones like Bina and etc. And also on Bina and Day 49, this array of the way I organized my nuggets made it that so when I needed to work on the abnormalities that Bina was making escape with her magic bullshit, I just paid the price for that by, you know, pressing space and having someone die or panic at random. And then, well, everyone was already deployed on their workstation, like instant. They are up, let's get to work. And the strike team was on Bina's heels. I shouldn't have to beat Bina the day for night thanks to a bug. Yeah, it's called Divine Providence. It happened. Ah, my dad. Congratulations on starting House of Spider Honglu. It's a fun ID. I need to actually do a run solo with him so I can do the achievement putting like 1 trillion damage with him. So having a bit of a strategy in any game, even Limbus Company, Library of Ruin, or Lobotomy Corporation, make the game a joke. Yeah, you do the whole shelter of March, and she can't do much. I did that once. I plan to finally fight her again because I put the guy on the shelter and I went to take a nap. When I came back, she was suppressed. But you know, it's a strategy. You can do that, and it kind of mirrors what happened in the facility as well to some degree. Right, floor 5. No, this is floor 4. Why is it taking so long? It's already been 140 hours. Gotta go fast. Duck of Ember is suicide. Charm Wanderer down suicide. Crawling Abyss has Pierce units. Thunder Lightning it is. And for the final floor, we have to go to the time killing time. Let's see. We have this guy here. I want to fight him. Let's go for this one. It's you. Let's shake hands. I said, let's shake hands. Give me your shit. Limbus Company is like a ruiner, but you can randomly get the key pages from reception you would have gotten 50 hours later. We started gaming using again rats against time is learning slower because you're using T-Corp IDs. Yes, it is. It's also running faster sometimes. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's exactly like you say, Kissing. The problem, the exact problem with Limbus is just that. We can get IDs that we shouldn't have access to from the end of the game. In the beginning of the game. Imagine you're playing Library of Ruin and you defeat your first rat, right? So you're gonna go burn their books and you get the red mist. And once again, and I have explained this many times before, this all stems from the fact that Limbus Company is a gacha. If it wasn't a gacha, they could limit which IDs you have access to based on the story progression. But we don't have that because that would be fucking psychotic for a gacha game to do that. Everybody stagger, everybody go hog wild. Beat them. And once again, I mentioned this before in other streams. Unfortunately, the game being a gacha is a necessary evil that we unfortunately have to accept for the continuation of Project Moon and our lovely director and his blessed autism. All right, time to transform, you lot. If I'm gonna breathe through everything mindless, eventually get your start finding time. You need to keep it when you breathe through everything before the end of some of you guys can see. Yeah. I heard Lord that vertical very difficult spike with vertical joke. Yeah, I heard that too, and I disagree. Most people will say that the vertical difficulty spike is Queen of Hatred, And guess what? It is just another matter of reading. And, you know, treating the game with some level of respect by actually paying attention to your mechanics instead of just complaining and bemoaning that, oh, it's so difficult. This is the most brutal game you never played. I wouldn't say Library Arena is easy. It's certainly challenging, but I would not say it's the hardest game ever. It's just, you just reuse your things. You have many things in your favor. The only thing that they changed that I think was for the best for Library of Ruina is that when you got to the final fight against the Blue Reverberation, it was divided by floors, like by floors, and the key pages you used in one floor could not be used in the following floors. Kind of like how the Reflect trials don't let you use the same IDs on the second stage, and this applies to every floor on the library. So as to say, all of these fights are happening at the same time, you know? But they changed that and made it by layer instead of everyone, because that's reaching the end of the... It was still possible. I think I did it like that. I don't remember now. It's been a while. But once you got to the top floors, you would have no pages left because you have to have a full team in every floor to fight a gimmick boss as well. Indeed, Moises. That is exactly the problem. A boss is not hard. You just need to read. And I'm not saying like you need to understand every tiny little aspect of the boss. Sometimes you just need to understand a crucial mechanic that he has, and the rest just works by itself, you know? For example, here on the channel is one of the few, the last video I posted, video, is the Kurokumo clan versus the knight from the crossover. The knight freezes you by when you hit him 3 times, you know? And I understood that. I got the message. Don't hit him 3 times, Ninehead. That's pretty easy. Despite that, I still use the Kurokumo clan. Heathcliff got turned into a popsicle like several times during the fight, which was very funny. And I still beat him because I kind of know what my team is doing. And I always go back to like Art of War, which is some basic stuff, but sometimes you forget the basic stuff. I know what the Kurokumo clan is capable of doing. I know that Rhodia has access to Sanguine Desire. And Sanguine Desire allows me to do some very mean things using Bleed. And so I've used that knowledge to great effect. Meaning I was able to beat the knight very quickly by using what I knew. And then I remember specifically at that time, and this is where it kind of ticked me off the most. Most people were using the Lord Lu and the Heisholings. And guess what? Lord Lu and the Heisholings all have clashable counters, meaning they're gonna try and hit the knight. And if you hit the knight, you get frozen. So everyone was complaining about how the knight could, you know, freeze people in place. And they refused to change their ways, because you know that if you hit the knight 3 times, he is going to freeze your ass like a popsicle. But no, I refuse to learn. I refuse to read. I am just going to take the same thing again and again and again, because this is the meta thing, the latest to be released, the most powerful. And I get so it's stupid. I hate that. Just read for a moment, you orangutan. It's like these people don't have a functioning frontal lobe. But yeah, I'm exaggerating for the sake of comedy here, but still, come on. It's not a difficult game. It's just you just need to understand some mechanics and you're good. And again, I blame the game being a gacha for this problem. And Roblox. I blame Roblox. Because gacha games usually aren't, you know, known for their difficulty, except for like the difficulty of how much money you have to pay or similar. How many counts we have? Chu, right? The amount of money you have to pay, that's usually what they're known for. Or for how much you have to grind for something, you know? was obviously worse for the mayor's fight. It's a significantly boring fight, but still people calling it bullshit. Yeah, just hit the hockey puck. The hockey puck is there. It cleans the floor under them. It removes their clash power. Their base power increase almost immediately. Just clean the floor. Just hit the hockey puck. It cleans the room, will cleans the floor. Enemy loses power. You win the clash. Let's just talk on Kanto 9 stage where you fight the ring. Got any good idea? Recommend seeing the stage 937. 937. The ring. 937 where you fight the ring. Is it the intervalo, Moises? They needed PM to add yellow paint and red arrows order to understand whether you gotta stack it around it. Yeah, and it's literally that. I hate those hints. Those hints are such bullshit. Alright, finish this fight. Let me check what 937 is. Cat, what are you doing? Actually, I only took 937 Limbus. 937, 937, 937, 937. What's 937? Oh, Albina and Nurse Father. Yeah, Albina and Nurse Father. Well, for starters, they have assist defenses. Obviously, don't attack Albina when she has like defense skill equipped. My throat. I need to get a drink. I need to get some water. In any case, it's the Callisto fight. Yeah. I want the ruling at wheel. Give me. Don't attack Albina while she has an Iron Maiden mode on. Make sure to play the gimmick for Hohenheim's to allow him to clash against the powerful attacks. Don't let him get hit too much. He can self-revive the T-Corp ampules, but don't let that happen too much. Absolutely, you could bring, what's-his-face, Hanafuda Ishmael if you have her, because it's a very powerful ID for that. But absolutely do not let her use her super mega ultra blaster attack on Albina when she has the Iron Maiden mode. Yeah, don't attack her while she has the defensive mode on, because if you do, especially with something unsided like Hanafuda Ishmael special super attack, she's going to kill herself doing that. Oddly enough, if you have Jesus Christ, oddly enough, if you have Faust, LCE Faust, that uses the Art of Lost and Faust, he has a very powerful dodge that allows you to tank a lot of stuff. As a defense attack makes when there are no unopposed attacks. Correct. They have a limit of, I think, 2 or 1. The number escapes me, so you have to look up that yourself. So just keep in mind that at one point, if you're trying to do something, Callisto will get in the way or Albina will get in the way. And this usually happens when he is using her big attack. Because if you read their passives, you're gonna notice that when they're preparing the big attack, if they are hit unsidedly, they lose power. So essentially what is happening is the following. They're gonna use their big attacks and Hohenheim's gonna clash against them. You need to hit them, smack them a few times to lower their power so Hohenheim can win the clash. In other words, you are going to have to eat a assist defense or 2 or eat a hit or 2 and have them. So offset the evade, eat a few assist attacks, and go wild after that. Are we all time borrowed? Yes, we are. We are fragile now. We are going to fragile you up. Remind most of the endurance test and things that wear down Albina until and just last until Coast does his final attack on the main damage dealers. Pretty much, you're giving most fights on Kanto 9 are about giving support to the units helping you, one way or the other. So you're working in tandem whoever is helping you, and you know you gotta pay attention to what they're doing. Yeah, I frankly thought those fights were also very fun. The Fragile is hitting us hard here because of the Spears attacks. Goddamn Inquisitors still kicking my ass after all these years they have been on the game. Without the phone crashing. That's the problem I can't help you with. But yeah, just pay attention to what Hohenheim is doing. Give support to him. Smack Callisto and Albina a few times when they prepare their big attacks. Don't hit Albina when she has her armor on, because it's gonna hurt a lot. And don't be afraid of like taking a few smacks to the face because you have the T-Corp ampules. All right. Floor 4. Let's see what we got here. Bloody Gadget for damage up. Yes. Give me a refresh for Tremor real quick. We get Downpour. Ho! Very deadly. We are now on Tremorland. We are now quaking. We are now vibrating. We are now resonating with everything around us and a little bit more. Let's enhance that even further if we can. Anything I can sell here that I do not use? Perversion is kind of an ass ego generating gift. We also don't need this. Fuck off. The enhance. Enhance the dolly too. And there we go. Sell the fusion gifts. Very nice. Callisto fight was so wonderful. The Matthias ended up being quite disappointing. I got Valentina fight, which is a favorite Kanto. The Matthias fight, I also liked it, but it was mostly a treat for people that like the certain detective, like me. And I thought it was good. I thought it was fun. It also showcased how fucking dangerous the middle is as an enemy faction, because one stray attack that you dare to defend yourself, you eat a counter. Right, here we go. It's this thing, not to be confused with other things. Let's get some effects going on. Next floor, we have to go to the time killing time and finish it quickly. I think it was fun. I think it was nice because it was mostly just, hey, look, remember these characters? They're cool, right? All right, here, give support to them. And I like giving support. I like helping. I didn't feel particularly bad about anything about it, like, oh, they're focusing, they're very cool and watching these characters fight and I don't have an input on it. I had my fun. It was fun. Music was great. We got some good story beats. We got Kira turned into our unwitting ally. We got stagger, and that's the problem, because the creature that is staggered is currently holding the goddamn cable. We can get the cable and then clash against it. And he decided to go a different order. Thank you, Otis. Well, we won't be able to play the boss gimmick now. Dealt basically no damage. How lovely. All right, let's try to make this work. I don't think it will, but this is gonna be a difficult one. I think weak to sloth. We're supposed to be weak to sloth, right? This is a sloth. Yeah, you take extra damage from sloth. So how are your turn board? Yes, good. All right, here we go. Just clash for now and win. Don't get it. I do get it though, because we're not being Matthias and I was always going to end up being since looking total power plus fighting it. There was stuff in the crew of Regulus, what else should have character. Yeah. Again, we are slowly getting there. We managed to beat someone level Ricardo, but it's one of the things that do not translate well because of narrative dissonance, you know? And this is something I'd say to everyone that's starting Limbus. Hey, if you roll a powerful ID, don't let the little narrative dissonance get to you, because it will get to you. Like, we have these very powerful IDs. And I will say this much, however. I much prefer to have what's going on in Kanto 9 happen, rather than we finish the fight and it says, actually, lol, no, you lost because you got hit with an acid attack, say, like Cromer. Like, stuff that says like, oh, actually you lost, kind of sucks. Scripted cutscenes are, with scripted loss are kind of bad because it just feels shitty, but at least it's not the worst. But I feel that it's much better to just do this whole we are fighting alongside a powerful character and we get to see them in action, rather than just the whole you just lost, Lamau. Which one's gonna go first? Yeah, that one would. How is your... Yeah, alright, good. How much tremor on self? 26. Far from optimal, but we'll take it. This attack is going unchallenged. Why? Yeah, sure, go. Fuck it. Fuck it. Attack it. Attack it with your skill. Block it. Gain your time back. And so, like, Valentina has a much more fun fight, interesting fight, and short of mess power gap their sinners or allies. Yeah, it's because I think it's more about the vibes, because Matthias is hyper focused on fighting Vespa rather than having us, you know. They're so hyper focused on fighting Vespa and what's her face, the Moses, and I forgot the name of the girl, the blonde girl. Ezra. He was so hyper focused on fighting the three of them that he really doesn't give a shit about us. Like Valentina, if you blink it, she'll just obliterate you, and you need to give some support to Valentina, to Virgilius, to actually beat Valentina. Unlike Matthias, which is, if you leave Matthias and the rest of the gang by themselves, they'll probably have handled that fight just as easily. Which one's gonna go first here? I think perhaps that maybe, just maybe, on the subject of, you know, the whole power level of the characters, the virtual detective crew, which they are very powerful, make no mistake, they are one of the top tiers fighters, they kind of made them too powerful to the point that it felt that the sinner's help in that whole thing was irrelevant. Like, yeah, fucking Vespa is powerful and Elder is powerful too. Why are we here? It's not like you need help dealing with Kira, because it's just a nuisance. So it just felt like, yeah, I understand. 1 second. It just felt like we were fly swatting Kira out of the way so they could actually get to fighting. It doesn't feel like we're actually helping compared to, say, the Virgilius fight or the Callisto fight, where our allies are Virgilius, a guy we know for a long time, and he is fighting someone with an incredibly busted relic, versus, say, Callisto, which our ally is fucking Hohenheim, who is not a fighter, even though he's wearing very nice Eagle gear. How many time do we have on you? 3. It's not yet time. For an enemy that takes extra damage from the block, this one is taking forever to die. So let's convert that damage into sloth and kill you. When I see the video, people become return my PS skills in the fight, and I know what I'm too. Back then after that, I have to watch it again, but he looks so cool, man. It's one of my favorite child brother. Yeah, he has cool skills. He has very cool skills. I like him too. The music is amazing, but I kind of understand what you're saying here, because from all the other fights, this one felt like we were just fly swatting Kira so that he could actually fight. Come here. Foul Critin! Look at this horrid beast. Look at it. Look at his mutt. Yeah, you're a mutt. You're stinky. And you are annoying sometimes because you jump on us when we're doing very important things and you don't care if there's something on your hand. Ah, go away, go away, go away, go away, go. Stinky dog. Right, we have to go fight Time Killer now. We gotta finish this tree. It's been 2 hours. We are... Oh, god damn it, I almost clicked that. Ooh, I almost clicked that. Oh my. Ooh, special contract. I do like special contract. Don't you? Let's refresh. No luck. Pack search. We need the time killing time Buckgak. And where is it? There it is. Let's get that achievement done, boys. Yeehaw. Let's see if we can get that tier 4 tremor gift that I never got. Right, what we got here? Let's go up here. Notice is going to be incredible. If I have to make rotation for the kid, then I think you should probably get an enhanced skill, which cell taking off levitate, like you take longer for suit, the one becomes stronger. Probably, yeah, it's going to be that. It's very likely to be that. What am I saying? Right, you guys did a favor for me for being staggered, huh? Well, that ain't that dandy, ain't that cool, ain't that nice. Blast them. I'm very on the fence about releasing any more nurse fathers. Because sure they're powerful and it would be a wasted opportunity not to release them, but I don't know, man. Who knows? We'll see what happens. It would be nice because it would make the middle even more powerful. Assuming he even has synergy with the middle, it's very likely he probably get like an envy envy skill tree and everything else is not envy just because he's no longer part of the middle. Just to interrupt your envy absolute resonance. It doesn't have to be 4 versions of the kit. It can be like, depending on the seal on levitating, you get a additional power up on the skill, or it just adds a coin or something like that, makes it more powerful or something. Right? Give me the free level up, you strange creature. We missed the extra effect there. Oh, whatever. My phone is that's how I done glue many times. I know very well the case. Oh, look at that! The guy is like staggered and stuff. Oh, how queer that is. Obliterate then. Yeah, gain a coin reuse or something like that up to 6 coins. Just empower the weapon the longer the fight goes on, because it does follow the Project Moon philosophies that the longer the fight goes on, the more conditionals you meet, the more powerful you become. Everyone escalates in power the longer the fight goes on, with ego passives, with status effect, or whatever. Ah, they're not dead. That's surprising. They will be now. Man, oh man, I am looking forward to finishing playing the campaign again for the tabletop because it's been very fun. One of my friends just almost died in his character. And I'm holding on to those 6 crits on my character to fucking try and one-shot that boss. Assuming it's a boss. Alright, how are we looking here? We are not on borrowed time, but we should be. So let's get on it. Man, I know that now, here's something interesting. I know every wing is supposed to be like, if you try to invade its territory, you're kind of fucked because they are on their territory, but I think for all the wings, all of the nests, the one that you really don't want to try invading would be fucking T-Corp. Because imagine you're trying to invade T-Corp, like Wing War. Wing War is happening, everyone is fighting each other. We get an opportunity, we invade T-Corp. Their coffers are open, they are in war economy right now, so they're not holding back on their time usage. You go into the tricky squad of guys, they immediately get jumped by like 10 to 7 people moving at the speed of fuck, and you're dead before you know what ever happened, and they're already moving on to the next one, like at the speed of Mach 5 speed. Of all the wings to invade, I think the least likely to lose a fight in their turf war, in their own turf, is T-Corp. Assuming we're not like a war economy and we don't give a shit about money anymore. Yeah, excited for the nurse fighter. They have fun kids, but love Callisto Home Loop actually haven't seen it with the king, and you know, like ramp up stuff that actually reasonable IDs have. But yeah, Rising just fucking blows, man. I don't like him too. To compensate not having a skill tree, I think they made the skill tree too powerful. And the fact that he just gets, you know, power up by just following a, you know, kid-friendly thing. Index is probably full of dumbasses, honestly, because he just follows the thing without thinking. Just like Rian. Yeah, literally just, here, follow the blue star, get your power-ups. You don't have to think about anything else. Mechanics? Don't worry about it. God, eventually I'll have to review him here. We are currently reviewing IDs for Canto, what, 7? 6? Which is T-Corp. Last one was Eurodiv, and I am probably gonna skip a few because we have to jump. I already did a few of them, so we're gonna jump ahead. Next one is probably gonna be Upi Heathcliff because I forgot about him. How is our time? We're still on borrow time, and we have Chu on Otis, so let's keep it flowing. Keep the flow of time flowing, brother. Yeah, everyone's just moving painfully slow. They just dominate on their home turf if they are like allowed to use the time to protect the T-Corp. And since most of them fight with their fists and some, you know, sort of pickaxe weapon, imagine this guy just rushes towards you, that hits you with a Dragon Ball Z rush of fists, and then walks away, and there is nothing you can do about it. It's just that we don't have really very good index IDs. We have 3 of them. We have Ritsang, we have Dawn, Apprentice, and we have Faust, which is the most bland ID for the ring they could have ever made. Because she's just there. She's just, you know, the index Faust. It's spiritually a 0-0 ID, even though it's a 0-0. But yeah, we don't have 0-0 IDs anymore. So what was the last 0-0 ID that was released? Actually, hold on. The last 0-0 ID would be Feng Hunt Hong Lu on 2024 October. It's been over a year. What the fuck? All right, yeah, no, okay. Lantern Yisang, are you sure? Hold on, 0-0 IDs. I'll check it in a bit. We actually can figure out how we'll check it after this, because we can actually go into the ID selection screen and sort by recent. Because that's kind of fucked. Again, many IDs that are currently in the game deserve to be 0-0 IDs because they're not that exceptional, but they are 0-0s because it feels good to roll a 0-0, right? And again, they cost more to shard, so there's also that little issue about, you know, making more 0-0 IDs means it's harder for you to grind for the ID. Not a problem for me, but it might be a problem for other people.
안 걸릴 거야.
완전히 멈춘. 생각할 시간이 완전히
Be a benefit being an event reward. That's true. That's true. He's an event reward.
해보겠네. 시간 징수 집행.
Henshin, T-Corp. That's kind of funny that Dawn got a fucking Kamen Rider ID, even though it's not technically one, but it is.
이번에는 재미 좀
정당한 공무 집행.
복잡한 것들을 갖다 내진 않았다.
Ah, the contract is so fun, man. For a Tremor Team special contract.
완전히 멈춘.
팍 하고 터진 것이 제법 보는 맛이 있단게. 나머지도
얼마
싸게
안
싸게
걸릴 거야.
놀랐네.
완전히 멈춘.
지불할 능력도 의사가 없다니.
많지 할줄 알았으면 빨리 좀.
Otis has a lot of Tremor right now. They can use her big skill. Very nice.
옛날에 외부 강사로
Otis, 35, 39. It's good enough for a skill.
한 놈만 잡아준다겠다. 인생을 다 뜯어버렸다.
최대전. 집행한다.
Very powerful. Look at that. It takes forever to gather it, but yeah, it's kind of nice.
완전히 멈춘.
How do you even translate the Tumnar's father to an ID? You can just have so much to it, it's absolutely but how do you consider be a play by ID and also not totally absurd? So I pay mistake so long for releasing it. Assuming they will release it, I am of the mind that they will not for some reason. Like they're gonna pull something like on the uptype for the upcoming Ryoshu that she killed both the nurse father for Matthias, Otias, and so now this actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. So we get the uptype for the new Ryoshu ID, right? In the trailer we saw her kill Riseng and Callisto Honglu. We get the uptie and it says, I killed Otis Matthias and Rhodia Valencina and now they're gone, you can't even pull them as IDs. And that's why I killed them here too, because fuck you. That actually makes some sense, and I think I have a good feeling that I might have hit the nail in the head here. They are dead. They are dead and gone, brother. Yeah. A lot of people, if I'm right, and I'm sorry if I am, sorry if I turned this into a reality, but a lot of people would complain about it. So I don't know if they're gonna go with that. Probably not. But then again, they do not need the approval of people to do things they want. Not anymore. They do whatever they want, so who knows? Because if they release another middle ID, the middle will become unstoppable.
현수단부로 근무 시작.
That's the problem of power creeping beyond power creeping, because it's unit synergy power creeping others. Alright, time killer, it's time to collect your time killing taxes.
구원하는 일이다. 시간이 남잖아. 일어나라. 510원. 아니, 2000시간 잘라내야 했어.
Is there a particular reason why you think outside Ryoko releasing before the two fabs? Nope.
정당한 공무 집행.
And again, it just helps fuel my crackpot theory that she just killed the other two, so we're not getting any more nurse fathers. Or maybe that isn't the capstone ID. Maybe that is another thing, but it also makes it weird because you would get two really powerful IDs for some reason. Oh, would you look at that? We are faster than you are. How queer, how funny.
정당한 공무 집행이다.
Anyway, I'm gonna put this theory of mine in my own personal book of grudges, and if I'm right, I am going to call the middle upon all of you. Also, another thing, I really like the time killer, but only when he has his full outfit. Otherwise, he kind of looks like shit when he gets the brains out.
그런 거지. 딱 보면 뭘 써야 하는지 딱 느낌이 오잖아. 이번에는 재미 좀.
Right, grudge written down. Here we go. There will be a reckoning for this. There we go. Let's make a good use of our time moratorium by hitting him a bunch of times and then hitting them with a blast of tremor. Let's see. I've seen people complaining that reaction reach before the true and confused by them. Can do that because incapable of doing that. Prince Mer's soul released after man is gone. If I understood it, how much of a direct synergy, but I hate show after that role. Nothing's really they have to have something before the release. It's because they also promised a bunch of things before the Capstone ID got released, you know? The railway was one of those. Oh my god, he's naked! Bina and this guy would be good friends. They both have the same kinks. Alright, how's our time borrowing? 2, 2, 3. Got it. We should do an AoE to get blasted those little things out of the way. I think that would be a good idea. Yep, let's do this. Isn't it 12 men in a trench coat? They want to buy a car.
이 몸이 직접 손봐야겠네.
Ego blast those little creatures into tiny little pieces. Oh, and blimey! I imagine they thought they needed more time. The research looks absolutely absurd what they do, and the animations learn this. What the fuck if people go to something done with it? They were so crazy. Yeah, they're fucking amazing. I love the after effect that she uses. It's fucking great. I like that. Even the moment I saw Araya the first time we fought. That was sick as fuck. I won that in IID. Like we don't have any time moratorium right now. That sucks. It'll be another turn before we can use it on Otis. Let's just do damage this turn. Oh no! Ooh, we got a stagger. That means we can do time moratorium on that staggered part and then multiply the damage by a fucking bamillion. Ah, we got staggered. The British are made up. Sorry to break it to you, but the British are not real. What, are you telling me there was an empire on Earth that dominated almost the entire planet and now they are eating like beans with cold beans and jellied eels? Really? Do you really believe that? Because I don't. It's a made-up empire. They were never real. Okay, that part got staggered. We got a clash over here. Got a clash against that one. There we go. Then we're gonna do damage to this one. I don't believe you. I don't believe you're real. You're trying to troop a crowd. You're trying to tell me something that doesn't exist. I'm gonna buy it. Alright, which part is that? I forgot which part I applied moratorium to. Oh shit, that's gonna be difficult to find. There we go. It is... I don't know which part that is. It's the only one that is broken. Got it. The only one with 0 HP, that one. Alright. How are you on your time speed? You are not. Go. Here we go. Right, Dawn is gonna tank everything for us. There we go. Go, Dawn! And we got troop staggers. That's not good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now we have to deal with the rest of it. Right. Otis will have to carry the weight here. Come on, come on. That's enough. Very good. That was a lot quicker than I expected it to be. It took 2.5 hours. T-Corp, what the fuck? I needed that time. Right. We fucking destroyed it. It's a cool interval. I'm not a big fan of T-Corp units in terms of fighting. I feel like they're wasting too much time, but they have some cool ass effects. They're cool as hell, but they take too long, man. All right. Final thoughts. I just did them. They waste a lot of time, but they have cool effects. And Time Moratorium is very fun to play around. Well, that's it for the mirror dungeon. All right, let's sit ourselves nice and tight and comfortable to read the hell screen. Let me just get some water because my throat is quite parched. And we'll get right onto the book. I have to squeeze the dog. Could you stop? No. You need to stop doing that. All right? Down. Let me get Ryoshu here on the screen. Let me trash this thing because I don't need it anymore. That's not Ryoshu, that's Iseng. There we go. There we go. Right, I'm gonna get the book online here on the stream, and I'm gonna get myself some water. So please give me a moment. Ryoshu and health screen. I do believe we stopped at page 10. The book has 50, so we're gonna be reading from page 11. Right. Book reading window. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go get some water. If you were here just for gameplay, now is the time to go, because now we are gonna do reading. That's right, we're gonna be reading book. I'm gonna get some water. I will be right back, and then we're gonna read 10 pages of the health screen. So just a moment. Where the hell is my camera? There we go. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Out of my way. here we go. Here we go. Last time on Yoshihide's Bizarre Adventure. This story is written in the perspective of a guard that works for the Lord Horikawa. I believe that's his name. Might be wrong. Hold on. What was the name of the Lord again? I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, Yoshihide's daughter was moving around the palace. The monkey was being beaten by the young lord for stealing a tangerine, the monkey that was named after Yoshihide, because they kind of look alike. The girl asked for the lord not to be angry because it's a monkey, doesn't know what it's doing. And now we're getting to the third part of the hell screen, where nothing bad ever happens to Yoshihide. A second, that's not what I wanted to do. Right, here we go. After this incident, Yoshihide's daughter and the little monkey grew close. The girl had a golden bell that her young mistress had given her, which she hung from the monkey's neck on a pretty crimson cord, and he, for his part, would almost never leave her side. Once, when she was in bed with a cold, the monkey spent hours by her pillow, biting its nails, and I swear it had a worried look on its face. Then, strangely enough, people stopped teasing the monkey. In fact, they began treating it with special kindness, until even the young master would occasionally throw it a persimmon or a chestnut, and I heard he once flew into a rage when one of the samurai kicked the animal. Soon after that, his lordship himself ordered a girl to appear before him with the monkey in her arms, all because in hearing about the young master's tantrum, I am told he naturally also heard about how the girl had come to care for the monkey. "I admire your filial behavior," his lordship said. "Here, take this." And he presented her with a fine scarlet underrobe. They tell me that his lordship was especially pleased when the monkey, imitating the girl's expression of gratitude, bowed low before him, holding the robe aloft. And so his lordship's partiality for the girl was born entirely from his wish to commend her filial devotion to her father, and not, as rumor had it, from any physical attraction he might have felt for her. Not that such suspicions were entirely groundless, but there will be time for me to tell you about that later. For now, suffice to say, his lordship was not the sort of person to lavish his affections on the daughter of a mere painter, however beautiful she might be. Well then, having been singled out for praise this way, Yoshihide's daughter withdrew from his lordship's presence, but she knew how to avoid provoking the envy of the household's others, less modest ladies-in-waiting. Indeed, people grew fonder than ever of her and the monkey, and the young mistress almost never let them leave her side, even bringing them with her in her ox-drawn chariot when she went to observe shrine rituals and the like. But enough about the girl for now. Let me continue with my story of her father, Yoshihide. As I have said, the monkey Yoshihide quickly became everyone's little darling, but Yoshihide himself remained an object of universal scorn, reviled as Monkeyhide by everyone behind his back. And not only in the Horikawa mansion, even such an eminent Buddhist prelate as the abbot of Yokawa hated Yoshihide so much that the very mention of his name was enough to make him turn purple, as if he had seen the devil. Some said this was because Yoshihide had drawn a caricature ridiculing certain aspects of the abbot's behavior, but this was hardly to be credited. In any case, Yoshihide's reputation was so bad that anyone you ask would have told you the same thing. If there were those who spoke kindly of Yoshihide, they were either a handful of the Brotherhood of Painters or else people who knew his work but not the man himself. His appearance was not the only thing that people hated about Yoshihide. In fact, he had many evil traits that repelled them even more, and for which he had only himself to blame. For one thing, Yoshihide was a terrible miser. He was harsh in his dealings with people, he had no shame, he was lazy and greedy. But worst of all, he was insolent and arrogant. He never let you forget that he was the greatest painter in the land, nor was his arrogance limited to painting. He could not be satisfied till he displayed his contempt for every custom and convention that ordinary people practiced. Man who was his apprentice for many years told me this story. Yoshihide was present one day in the mansion of a certain gentleman when the celebrated shamaness of the Cypress enclosure was there, undergoing spirit possession. The woman delivered a horrifying message from the spirit, but Yoshihide was unimpressed. He took up a handy ink brush and did a detailed sketch of her wild expression, as he viewed spirit possession as mere trickery. No wonder then that such a man would commit acts of sacrilege in his work. In painting the lovely goddess Kishoten, he used the face of a common harlot, and to portray the mighty, flame-draped Fudo, his motto was a criminal released to do chores in the magistrate's office. If you tried to warn him that he was flirting with danger, he would respond with feigned innocence. "I'm the one who painted them. After all," he would say, "are you trying to tell me that my own Buddhas and gods are going to punish me?" Even his apprentices were shocked by this. I myself knew several of them who, fearing for their own punishment in the afterlife, wasted no time in leaving his employ. The man's arrogance simply knew no bounds. He was convinced that he was the greatest human being under the heavens. It goes without saying that Yoshihide lorded over the other painters of his time. True, his brushwork and colors were utterly different from theirs, and so the many painters with whom he was on bad terms tended to speak of him as a charlatan. They rhapsodized over the work of old masters such as Kawanari or Kanaoka. On moonlight nights, you could actually smell the plum bustles painted on the wooden door, or you could actually hear the courtier on the screen playing his flute. But all they had to say about Yoshihide's work was how eerie and unsettling they found it. Take his 5 levels of rebirth on the Ryugaiji Temple Gate, for example. "When I passed the gate late at night," one said, "I could hear the dying celestials sighing and sobbing." "That's nothing," another claimed. "I could smell the flesh of the dead rotting." And how about the portraits of the household ladies in waiting that his lordship offered from Yoshihide? Every single woman he painted fell ill and died within 3 years. It was as if he had snatched their very souls from them. According to one of his harshest critics, this was the final proof that Yoshihide practiced the devil's art. But Yoshihide was so perverse, as I've said, that remarks like this only filled him with pride. When his lordship joked to him one time, "For you, it seems the uglier the better. Yoshihide's far too red lips spread in an eerie grin," and he replied imperiously, "Yes, my lord, it is true. Other painters are such mediocrities, they cannot appreciate the beauty of ugliness." We got a direct quote from the book in the latest intervallo. Lovely. I must say, greatest painter in the land or not, it was incredible that he could spout such self-congratulatory nonsense in his lordship's presence. No wonder his apprentices called him Chira Eiju behind his back. You know, Chira Eiju, the long-nosed goblin who crossed over from China long ago to spread the sin of arrogance. But still, even Yoshihide, in all of his incredible perversity, yes, even Yoshihide displayed human tenderness when it came to one thing. By this, I mean that Yoshihide was truly mad about his only daughter, the young lady in waiting. The girl was, as I said before, a wonderfully kind-hearted young creature deeply devoted to her father. His love for her was no less strong than hers for him. I gather that he provided for her every need, every robe, every hair ornament, without the slightest objection. Don't you find this incredible for a man who had never made a single contribution to a temple? Yoshihide's love for his daughter, however, remained just that, love. It never occurred to him that he should be trying to find her a good husband someday. Far from it. He was not above hiring secret thugs, street thugs, to beat up anyone who might make improper advances on her. So, even when his lordship honored her with the position of junior lady-in-waiting in his own household, Yoshihide was far from happy about it. And for a while, he always wore a sour expression whenever he was within his lordship's presence. I have no doubt that people who witnessed this display were the ones who began speculating that his lordship had been attracted to the girl's beauty when he ordered her into the service despite her father's objections. Such rumors were entirely false, of course. It was nothing but Yoshihide's obsessive love for his daughter that kept him wishing to have her step down from service. That is certain. I remember the time his lordship ordered Yoshihide to do a painting of Monju as a child, and Yoshihide pleased him greatly with a marvelous work that used one of his lordship's own boy favorite as the model. "You can have anything you want as a reward," said his lordship. "Anything at all." Yoshihide should have been awestruck to hear such praise from his lordship's own lips, and he did in fact prostrate himself in thanks before him. But can you imagine what he asked? "If it please your lordship, I beg you to return my daughter to her former lowly state." The impudence of the man! This was no ordinary household after all. No matter how much he loved his daughter, to beg for her release from service in privileged proximity to the great lord of Horikawa himself? Where in the world does one find such audacity? Not even a man as grandly magnanimous as his lordship could help feeling some small annoyance at such a request, as was evident from the way he stared at Yoshihide for a while in silence. Presently, he spoke. "That will not happen," he said, all but spitting out the words, and he abruptly withdrew. This was not the first nor the last such incident. I think there might have been 4 or 5 in total, and with each repetition, it seemed to me, his lordship gazed on Yoshihide with increasing coldness. The girl, for her part, seemed to fear for her father's welfare. Often she could be seen sobbing quietly to herself in her room, teeth clamped on her sleeve. All this only reinforced the rumor that his lordship was enamored of the girl. People also said that the command to paint the screen had something to do with her rejection of his lordship's advances, but that, of course, could not be so. As I see it, it was entirely out of pity for the girl's situation that his lordship refused to let her go. I am certain he believed with great generosity that she would be far better off if he were to keep her in his mansion and enable her to live in comfort than if he sent her back to her hard-headed old father. That he was impartial to her, of course, there could be no doubt. She was such a sweet-tempered young thing. But to assert that he took his lustful pleasure with her is a view that springs from twisted reasoning. No, I would have to call it a groundless falsehood. At any rate, owing to these matters regarding his daughter, this was a period when Yoshihide was in great disfavor with his lordship. Suddenly one day, for whatever reason, his lordship summoned Yoshihide and ordered him to paint a folding screen portraying scenes from the 8 Buddhist hells. Oh, that screen! I can almost see its terrifying images of hell before me now. Other artists painted what they call images of hell, but their compositions were nothing like Yoshihide's. They had the 10 kings of hell and their minions over in one small corner, and everything else, the entire screen, was enveloped in a firestorm so terrible you thought the swirling flames were going to melt the mountain of sabers and the forest of swords. Aside from the vaguely Chinese costumes of the judges of the dark with their swatches of yellow and indigo, all you saw was a searing color of flames, and dancing wildly among them, black smoke clouds of hurled India ink and flying sparks of brown, blown-on gold dust. These alone were enough to shock and amaze any viewer, but the sinners writhing in the hellfire of Yoshihide's powerful brush had nothing in common with those to be seen in ordinary pictures of hell, for Yoshihide had included sinners from all stations in life, from the most brilliant luminary of His Majesty's exalted circle to the basest beggar and outcast. A courtier in magnificent ceremonial vets, a nubile lady-in-waiting in 5 layered robes, a rosary clutching priest intoning the holy name of Amida, a samurai student on high wooden clogs, an aristocratic little girl in a simple shift, a yin-yang diviner swishing his paper wand through the air. I could never name them all, but there they were, human beings of every kind, inundated by smoke and flame, tormented by the wardens of hell with their heads on bulls and horses, and driven in all directions like autumn leaves scattering before a great wind. "Oh, look at that one," you would say, "the one with her hair all tangled up in a forked lance and her arms and legs drawn in tighter than a spider's. Could she be one of those shrine maidens who perform for the gods? Oh, and that fellow there, hanging upside down like a bat, his breast pierced by a short lance, Surely he's supposed to be a greenhorn provisional governor. And the kinds of torture were as numberless as the sinners themselves. Flogging with an iron scourge, crushing under a gigantic rock, pecking by a monstrous bird, grinding in the jaws of a poisonous serpent. But surely, the single most horrifying image of it was that of a carriage plummeting through space. As it fell, it grazed the upper boughs of a sur tree, where clumps of corpses were skewered on fang-like branches. Blasts of hellwind swept up the carriage curtains to reveal a court lady so gorgeously apparelled she might have been one of His Imperial Majesty's own consorts or intimates. Her straight black hip-length hair flying upward in the flames, the full whiteness of her throat laid bare as she writhed in agony. Every detail of the woman's form and the blazing carriage filled the viewer with an agonizing sense of the hideous torment to be found in the hell of searing heat. The sheer horror of the entire screen, might I say, seemed to be concentrated in this one figure. It had been executed with such inspired workmanship, you'd think that all who saw it could hear the woman's dreadful screams. Oh yes, this was it. For the taking of painting this one image, the terrible event occurred. Otherwise, how could even the great Yoshihide have painted Hell's Torment so vividly? It was his cruel fate to lose his life in exchange for completing the screen. In a sense, the hell in his painting was the hell into which Yoshihide himself, the greatest painter in their realm, was doomed one day to fall. I am afraid that, in my haste to speak of the screen with its unusual images of hell, I may have reversed the order of my story. Now, let me continue with the part about Yoshihide when he received his lordship's command to do a painting of hell. For nearly 6 months after the commission, Yoshihide poured all of his energy into the screen, never once calling at his lordship's residence. Don't you find it strange that such a doting father could abandon all thought of seeing his daughter once he had started on a painting? According to the apprentice I mentioned earlier, Yoshihide always approached his work like a man possessed by a fox spirit. In fact, people used to say that the only reason Yoshihide was able to make such a name for himself in art was that he had pledged his soul to one of the great gods of fortune. What proved it was that if you peeked in on him when he was painting, you could always see shadowy fox spirits swarming all around him. What this means, I suspect, is that once he picked up his brush, Yoshihide thought of nothing else but completing the painting before him. He would spend all day and night shut up in his studio out of sight. His concentration seems to have been especially intense when he was working on this particular screen with images of hell. This is not merely to say that he would keep the lattice shutters pulled down and spend all day by the tripod oil lamp, mixing secret combinations of paint or posing his apprentice in various costumes for him to sketch. No. That was normal behavior for the working Yoshihide, even before this screen. Remember, this was the man who, when he was painting his 5 levels of rebirth on the Ryugaiji Temple Gate, went out specially to inspect a corpse lying on the roadside, the kind of sight from which any ordinary person would recoil, and spent hours sitting before it, sketching its rotting face and limbs without missing a hair. I don't blame you then, if you are among those who cannot imagine what I mean when I say that his concentration during his work on the hell screen was especially intense. I haven't the time now to explain this in detail, but I can at least tell you the most important things. One day, an apprentice of Yoshihide's, the one I've mentioned a few times already, was busy dissolving pigments when the master suddenly said to him, "I am planning to take a nap, but I don't know, I've been having bad dreams lately." There was nothing strange about this, so the apprentice merely answered, "I see, sir," and continued his work. Yoshihide, however, was not his usual self. Somewhat hesitantly, and with a doleful look on his face, he made a surprising request. "I want you to sit and work beside me while I sleep." The apprentice thought it was rather odd that his master could be worrying about dreams, but it was a simple enough request and he promptly agreed to it. "Alright then," Yoshihide said, still looking worried. "Come inside right away." He hesitated, and when the other apprentices arrived, he added, "Don't let any of them in where I am sleeping." Inside meant the room where the master actually did his painting, and as usual on this day, the apprentice told me its doors and windows were shut as tightly as at night. In the dull glow of an oil lamp stood a large folding screen, its panels arranged in a semicircle and still only sketched out in charcoal. Yoshihide lay down with his head pillowed on his forearm and slipped into the deep sleep of an utterly exhausted man. Hardly any time had gone by, however, when the apprentice began to hear a sound that he had no way of describing. It was a voice, he told me, but a strange and eerie one. And stopping the reading right here on the cliffhanger. In any case, we will continue our reading tomorrow on our daily mirror dungeon. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just stop. There it is. We are with our ID study and mirror dungeon complete. We are at the end of our stream. My friend is probably going to execute me for taking this long. I apologize, Toy. I'm gonna be right over there to play Half-Life with you. In any case, if you enjoyed the stream, please recommend it to your friends, but if you didn't, recommend it to your enemies. Now, if you really liked it and wish to give some support here to the channel, please leave a like, a comment, a subscribe, a follow on Twitch, or a follow on Twitter. It helps like you wouldn't believe. With all that said, thank you once again, sweet kisses, and goodbye. Mwah. Bye-bye.